Vin.
Hello and welcome to this week's edition of Cultured Fools. We are cooking again, thanks to the viral smash of the last video. Please go and watch it and comment below and subscribe and all that shit. It has been brought to my attention by my GP, therapist and loved ones that I may be drinking a wee bit, so I am embarking on dry January. Now that may seem like a bit of a hurdle to a man who's running a YouTube wine channel, but necessity is the mother of invention. I'm going to be doing more cooking with wine, and today we are making Coq Au Vin. Literal translation, cock with wine. I know someone who likes a bit of cock with wine. Then I was going to splice you in. Coq Au Vin was invented.
It was the Romans, the sexy Romans.
In Deedly Doodly, the idea of braising your chicken with wine is as old as Caesar, but like most great Italian classic dishes, they were perfected in France. We tend to think of national cuisines in quite monolithic terms, you know. Do you fancy a Chinese tonight? No, I'd rather have an Italian. But all countries, however big or small, are broken down into regions, and all regions have their distinct versions of cuisine. Think about Italy. The south is vastly different to the north. No country takes regionalism to greater heights than the French, and Coq Au Vin being an iconic French dish, it has its different iterations of it depending on where you are. For example, if you went to Alsace, they literally make it with Riesling. And why not? Why would you make it with, you know, wine from the Rhone Valley if you're in Alsace? Right. Today we are making classic Coq Au Vin from Burgundy, and Burgundy is famous for two wines, Chardonnay, Pinot Noir, and as you can see, we're using Pinot Noir. Before we get into this, I want to reiterate that every single region across France will make this with a different wine. If you want to make it with a different wine, make it with a different wine. If you want to make it with a white, make it with a white. It's fine. Don't worry about it. Chill. First things first, put your oven on. Get it warmed up. Go on, son. Okay, now we know what's happening with the wine. Let's talk about other ingredients. Bacon, chicken, skin on, bone on. I've gone for Maryland's, but you can use thighs. Carrots, thyme, chicken stock, bowl of mushrooms, onion. I can only find a white onion. It's like the fucking apocalypse out there. Garlic, and you can't have a French dish with its main ingredient, butter. This dish requires flour. I need fucking flour. This dish requires 3 bonds. Don't have to worry about what that is. I'll tell you as we go. Suffice to say, it's not a character from Happy Days. First up, bacon. Now, as an Englishman in Australia, I pay my taxes and I vote. And I feel like I'm a law-abiding citizen, but I feel like I've now probably earned the right to say a few things and get some stuff off my chest about Australia, as much as I love it as my home. Your bacon is wank, and you can't drive. Okay, so, get yourself a big pan. Remember, this is going in the oven after, so start as you mean to go on. Pan on, medium heat, a little bit of olive oil, not too much, because we're going to put some bacon in there now, and it's going to get oily. Why do New Yorkers sleep under cars? Because they like to get up oily. Bacon in. Now that bad boy is going to get brown. So basically, if you're cooking meat in a pan and you get those little brown bits at the bottom, that's basically a fond. That's what we were trying to create, and we're going to create 3 versions of that. One with the bacon, one with the chicken, and the next one with the veg. And what's going to happen is all that flavour is going to come together and explode in your mouth.
How dare you, sir!
Once your bacon is sufficiently crispy, get one of those ladles with the holes in the bottom. Forget what they're called. Extract bacon from pan. Bacon is now been removed and should be all nice brown and crispy on the bottom of the pan. Again, I've not got another camera, so. Next up, we're going to get a little bit of butter. And I'll say a little bit. In the pan. It's a French dish after all, right? Whilst the butter is melting, we're going to take our chicken. Again, thighs, Maryland's, whatever you want to do. Preferably with bone and skin. And we're going to season. Both sides. Now, I don't feel like I should have to say this, but don't be opening your fridge, taking out chicken and sticking it in the pan. I mean, you're better than that, okay? I expect more from you. Always have your meat, any meat, at room temperature. Don't ask me why, it's just the law. Now, I don't make them, I just execute them. Butter is melted. Now, we're gonna get in there with the chicken, like swimwear. Skin side down. Booyah. Pan's a wee bit crowded, but don't worry about that. It just means you have to be very, very careful with the skin. You don't want it sticking to the bottom. The purpose of this is to create a second fond by browning the chicken. So get the skin nice and brown, flip it over, get that side brown. We're not cooking it all the way through. We're going to extract it afterwards, but we're going to get it nice and brown. Get that cooker high. Time for another photo. Top quality content here. Whilst that is working its magic, let's get into some garlic. I like it when recipes say things like 2 cloves of garlic. Fuck you, 2 bulbs of garlic. I average 3 cloves of garlic per person. Don't at me. Right, get your bulbs out, give it a little love tap, skin comes off. Repeat. Once your garlic is peeled, give it a big smash, then chop. You want to release all them juices, says the bishop to the actress.
How dare you, sir?
Browned. Skin will stick to the pan, but that's all good because we're going to make that up. All adds the flavour. When the chicken is out, take the pan off, let it cool down, because the next thing we're going to do is hit it with some garlic, and we don't want burnt garlic because that's shit. Whilst you're waiting for it to cool down, prep your mushrooms and carrots. I'm going to take the mushroom and chop it in half. Farewell and adieu to you fair Spanish ladies. Farewell and adieu to you ladies of Spain. The carrots, I've gone for these little organic ones. Just want to take them, top, tail, about inch in size, nice and easy. Next up is your onion. How to chop an onion, you may ask? Well, cut it in half, top, tail, first layer of skin off. Now if you want to be fancy, you can do the whole bish, bash, bosh, but it's rustic, can't be asked. We're just going to go big chunky bits of onion. It's all going to dissolve. It's going to go in the oven. Don't worry about it. Right, my stove is back on, and now I'm going to get some garlic in there. Now with garlic, as I said before, you don't want to burn garlic. I always feel like you should take your time with the garlic. It's a very little gentle thing. If you burn it and crucify it, it's going to be ruined. Put it on low. Introduce it to the pan. Let it meet its new friends. It's a sensitive little thing, the garlic. A bit like me. And once you feel like it's become acquainted with all its new friends, turn up the heat, get your onions in. Done. Wait for your onions to turn translucent before you introduce anything else to it. Think of it as like a sort of stop sign. Green, amber, red. You're waiting for the translucent sign. What am I talking about? Looking good. Get a picture of that. Oh yeah, Benny can. See all that stuff on the bottom? We're now ready for the carrots and the mushrooms. Carrots and mushrooms go everywhere. Then they go in the pan. Then you're going to get some salt. The reason why you're going to do that is because the salt will allow a lot of the liquid to evaporate from the mushroom, which will then put more liquid into the pan, which will create a third fond. Time is on my side. Yes, it is. If you want to do one of those Bocaux Garnier, Coco Chanel, Bocaux Harem, I don't know what the fuck they're called. Herbs with a bit of string. You can do that. I just chuck thyme in as is. Bouquet Garni. Bocaux Harem was a terrorist organisation, wasn't it? Laboratoire Garnier. Looking like that. That is all looking rather marvellous. Next up is the roux. Butter. Again, it's French. Don't worry. Go to the gym, run it off. What's a roux? Well, what's a roux with you? Well, the purpose of the roux is to make that sauce a bit thicker. So you've got your butter in there, handful of flour, nothing too crazy. And then stir, 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 stir. And that will literally evaporate all the sauce. So, we're thirsty. Wine time! I'm going to put about half a bottle in, and straight away, when it connects with the flour, it's made it like a nice thick gravy. It looks absolutely beautiful. In fact, I'll take a photo. Going to let that reduce for a bit. What smoke have you got? Once your vino has reduced, get some stock in there. 500 mils. That is good, yeah? Before we get our cock out,
How dare you, sir?
we're going to hit it with the bacon. And the final thing, for those who are about to cock, we salute you. In with your chicken. And what we're going to do is we're going to bring it to a bubble and stick it in the oven. But before we do that, let's use some of this pepper. Now, I'm a pepper monster. Fucking love pepper. And leave the salt to the very end. You've got bacon in there, you've got stock, you've already put a little bit of salt in the mushrooms. We are bubbling over rather nicely, so that is my cue to chuck it in the oven. Don't worry about the lid. Get it in there. Got it on for about 180 for an hour. See you on the flip side, rockers.
Welcome to Hungover Mindfulness. Please close your eyes and relax into a comfortable position. Look, I know you're feeling bad, and yes, this is not an ideal situation, but consider climate change, overpopulation, water depletion, energy depletion, destruction of living species, positive economic feedback that ultimately leads into chaos, the genetic decay of humans, social decadence, softness, luxury, the rising disrespect of tradition and culture, mind simplification, rising infantilism, indoctrination by the media, emotional and moral decline, indestructible ethnic hatred, the greed of nations, international injustice, nuclear weapons and the TV series Love Island. All you did was tell Sarah from marketing that she has chubby ankles. In 5 billion years the sun will cease to exist. It will expand in size to a red giant and obliterate all the inner planets. Once the sun completely runs out of fuel, it will contract into a cold corpse of a star. You will be dead. And Sarah will be dead. Presumably from diabetes.
Okay, it's been an hour. What we now do, remove the pan from the oven. Take the chicken, which is looking pretty darn good. Put that onto a plate. So chicken is now out. We'll put it in a little bowl. Now what we're going to do is reduce the sauce and then pour it over at the end. Whilst that is reducing, we want to remove all the thyme stalks so we're not eating twigs. Christ almighty, that tastes good. Woo! I think that's enough. What we're going to do now is just put the sauce on top. Voila. My magnum opus. Mmm! Oh, yes! Come on!
Lord have mercy, I'm about to bust.
Woo! That is good. Chuck in a bowl. Serve with some mashed potatoes. Finish off with a bit of thyme. Mate. Everyone knows you cook like you fuck. You give that to someone and you're just gonna get laid for the rest of your life. Like, it's just happening. Yeah? Just make it. Make it now.
It could be red, it could be pink, it could be orange or white, it could be still, it could be sparkling just as long as it's wine. It could be red, it could be pink, it could be orange or white, it could be still, it could be sparkling just as long as it's wine. It could be red, it could be pink, it could be orange or white, it could be still, it could be sparkling just as long as it's wine. It could be red, it could be pink, it could be orange or white, it could be still, it could be sparkling just as long as it's wine. It could be red, it could be pink, it could be orange or white, it could be still, it could be sparkling just as long as it's wine.